What's up, everybody? Flying solo for the night. Cranky's running a little bit late. Happy Monday evening, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Busy time of the year is coming. Memorial Day's quickly approaching, and we've for us here in Michigan, we got the big race weekend out at Michigan International Speedway. Also the Grand Prix, Detroit Grand Prix this coming weekend. It's getting real busy around here. Thankfully, I'm off this weekend, so I get to miss the chaos and shenanigans from the Grand Prix, and I get to enjoy a little bit of Memorial Day weekend. Got to work Memorial Day, but all right, let's see. Jack Stacks, welcome. I think Cranky's running a little late, so I'm holding down the fort till he gets here. Mike was here from what it's saying here, he was here at 4:06 a.m. making sure he gets the first word in. So, let's see here. I know on my part, I haven't done a whole lot of adding to the silver. Last couple of weeks, I added some Peace Dollars and some Morgans. A lot of expenses coming up this time of year, so the extra money is not necessarily there for all kinds of silliness. Plus, I told myself I had to pull in the reins on what I was doing. So let's see. Looking to see if not here yet. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when the other person pops up, it doesn't always tell you right away that they're here. So I keep checking that guest button to see what's going on. So something else I don't know if Cranky saw this or not, but we're pretty we're pretty critical of the post office, and once again they're raising rates. So this will be my Michi meltdown. They really need to work on their service a little bit. There's Mike. They really need to work on getting the bugs worked out of their service and actually getting packages from point A to point B before they raise the rates, because they claim, it'll keep us competitive and keep us financially sound. Well, you'd be really competitive if you deliver what people ship out. So that's supposed to happen July 18th. I think they said regular priority shipping's going up 6% and the ground advantage and all that other stuff's going up to 7%, and or going up 7.8%. So 210 stacks, welcome. Mike, I think they're leaving the stamps alone for the moment, but as far as shipping goes, they're raising all that. So Kevin Hawthorne, good evening. It kind of cracks me up because I've gotten to the point where I have to send out, if I send out a swag pack, I got to send it out with tracking, which I've got to do again this Friday, because I've tried at least 4 or 5 times to get packs out to a couple of people in the community, and they don't make it. So this time I'm going to send it with tracking, and if that's going to be a norm, that's going to just be ridiculous. Even something simple as I know there are people, I sent out Christmas cards to everybody I had addresses for, and a lot of those people didn't get them. So, but Sorcerer Stan is in the house. Hey, good evening. Just waiting for Cranky. I know he's supposed to be here, so Southeast Stacker, good afternoon. Yeah, we're just talking about, the Postal Service is jacking up those shipping rates in July, and just crazy. So, let's see here. All right, let's give me 1 second. Sorry for all the shaking there. I am gonna text Cranky real quick and see if he's on his way. All right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, I am back. So we send him a quick message. Let's see what's going on, because I know he's been dealing with some health stuff. So, and just waiting to see if I hear back from him. And yep, okay, he's on his way. So, yeah, when I first started doing lives, I was pretty good at doing them by myself. Now I completely stink at doing it by myself. So, all right, he should be here in a couple minutes. So, other than that, let's see. Summer's arrived, and in true Michigan fashion, so this the first official weekend of summer's coming this weekend, and we're not going to get out of the high 50s, low 60s the whole weekend now. So, yeah, we're all sending those up for Cranky. I know I went through a similar surgery myself, and it's more. How can I put this? It's more frustrating than it is painful. I apparently I don't do well with pain medication, and so I only needed it once, and my son was quite colorful in his description of how Dad was acting when he was when he came home from school the one day, and I was seeing stuff that wasn't there. But no, he's gonna feel a lot better after it's done, and he's healed up. So lots of positivity there for him. Yeah, it's southeast. It's hot and muggy down there quite a bit, isn't it? I know we had a couple of days of mid 80s and 90 something percent humidity here, and then it just it did a nosedive, and here we are. I think it's like 60 degrees outside right now, so it's supposed to be that way for the rest of the week through the weekend into next week. So, all right, let's see. It has popped up yet? Okay. Oh, there he is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only. Now I got it. Oh, there we go. And only Cranky Stacker is in the house.
Thank goodness he's the one and only. Miss Lori just told me, man, you're going to have to start setting an alarm.
Hey, you got a lot going on.
I do. We're fixing to get some balls out weather here. So,
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah, we had storms last night, and Miss Franny Bell was curled up with her head on my pillow because it was kind of nasty. But we're supposed to have like tornadic activity and big hail tonight, so
Right.
we'll see. Um, Sorry, I'm late again. I just I
Well,
just can't seem to stay on top of things.
I did the rant. I did the rant for both of us before you got here.
Ooh,
So
what did I miss? I'm so sorry. What I
no,
miss?
no, 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 no. I heard on the way to work yesterday, and then again on the way home this morning that our favorite people in the whole wide world, they're raising shipping rates again.
Really?
Yes, the priority shipping's going up 6 point some odd percent, and ground advantage and everything else is going up 7 point something percent.
Ooh,
So that they can stay competitive and financially stable. I was
stay
like, you want to
tuned.
you want to be competitive, try getting the packages from point A to point B in a timely manner, if
Yeah. Hey, can
if at
you
all.
find this country on the map? Ooh, stay tuned, folks. This could get good. This could get good. Hey, 210. Hi, Southeast Stacker, Sorcerer Stan, Jack Stacks. Did I see 210 in here? I did, didn't I? Yeah.
210's here. Mike was here at 4:06 a.m. this morning.
AM.
A.m. Yeah, and then he came back at 6:06.
He must have thought. Well, that's about the time I got up.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi,
The
210.
first comment I've got on here is Mike, 4:06 a.m. Happy Monday.
Wow, he's so cool. Everybody in here is so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorcerer Stan says stable. Are you, you're stable or I'm not stable, to be honest with you. Clearly. Oh, I cannot believe that they're raising rates. It just and they're like supposed to get a new boss, aren't they?
Not soon enough.
Yeah, well, and I thought just recently I saw a thing where them and FedEx were supposedly joining, uh, kind of doing a collaboration thing
Yeah, but
more than what they're doing now, and I just don't know, man.
that's like Dumb and Dumber getting together for another movie.
Let's go to Aspen.
Well, yeah. So we've got a our subdivision that I live in. We have a Facebook community thing where we everybody kind of looks out for each other or whatever. It's like, hey, I got a package with this name on it. Anybody here? This belong to anybody here? Everybody looks out for everybody, and the people are like, yeah, FedEx said they delivered my package and they took a picture. That's not my porch. Do you have my package?
Wow,
And that's all the time.
there's a
And I don't
comment
know
from Mike.
FedEx, and I don't know if you guys have
Go ahead.
Kroger grocery stores out your way.
We used to have Kroger's in I think they still have them in Missouri. We've got
Okay.
a division of Kroger's called Baker's.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
here, we
So
see
yeah,
the
I'm familiar
little
with them.
refrigerated trucks zipping all over town where, the people that, I mean, I can understand for the people that can't get out to do their grocery shopping, but I say it's mostly for the lazy that just don't want to go do their own grocery shop. You can have
Uh-huh.
your groceries delivered to your house, and these little darn Kroger trucks zipping all over town. And every day there's 5 or 6. Well, I had a grocery delivery from Kroger, and that's not my porch. I think they all work for FedEx or the Postal Service. So,
Yeah, they got to be former postal employees.
right.
I'm sorry. It's gloves off with them this year. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so done with them. Wow. That's
It amazes me they can get your bills there on time, but they can't get anything else there on time, if at all. So
yeah. Well, what kind of pickups have you got this week, Mr. Michi?
Nothing this week. I've been restricting myself to just going on payday. So Friday
Boy, have I
before last, well, actually weekend before last, I picked up some couple more peace dollars and some Morgans. You know, working on filling the tubes of those along with everything else.
have I
Uh
got a deal for you.
oh.
No, I was going through a bunch of stuff today, and I found my tube of Canadian 80% quarters, and not that I lost it or anything, but I didn't see my 80% dimes. Um, so I've just been working on like Rosie's and um,
Yeah.
Mercs, the 90%
Oh yeah.
dimes. I just, for some reason, I have a few dollars in quarters, but for some reason, am I the only one that just kind of looks at quarters and goes, eh? I mean, it's like there's something appealing about the fractional size of the dimes. I don't know what it
Right.
is, but
Yeah.
and then I was getting some stuff ready for an upcoming auction. Um, oh boy, have I got some booty looty for that. Here you go. See,
Oh, there you go.
booty
Yeah.
looty.
Woohoo.
A couple of bars.
Yeah.
Couple of bars there. Yeah, I just I think I talked about it with you, but I'm not sure. I've just decided I'm just going straight bullion.
Yeah.
I've got to get my weight
Right.
going, and I'm not too sure that this is a good time to. Well, it's a good time to buy either one of them, but
Right.
I'm definitely going to be doing the. Look at here. This is a 2-ouncer.
Oh yeah.
That's going in the auction bin whenever I decide to have it.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It'll be fun and all that sort of thing. But that video will be coming out here pretty soon. I haven't done, as everybody knows, a bunch of videos lately because I can't sit still very long. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to get as much done before this thing happens. I did get I'm going tomorrow for a cardiac Doppler, a carotid Doppler.
Yeah.
And Thursday is my stress test, and then I got to have 2 weeks of nicotine free, and then I'm gonna get her done.
Yep.
But my doctor, God, they scheduled me. The surgeon says you need to get this done like right now, and they said, well, we'll get you in for this cardiac clearance visit in August 26th. Like, well, nothing like Canadian healthcare here.
Right.
So my doctor wasn't real happy with that. So he made a couple of phone calls, and they called me the next day and said, here you go. So,
Yep.
and that's about all I got to say about that. That'll come and go.
Well, the stress test should be real easy. Just walk in the room, look at you, and say U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah.
Hook you up
Don't
to
they have
monitor and say U.S. Postal Service?
Didn't they? No, they could say that to me, and the blood pressure is going to go right to straight up.
Right.
Didn't they? Weren't they entitled as employees to have like stress days, paid days off?
I
think it's right.
But,
When when the term postal became going postal became famous, that was about the time I think everybody started getting paid day off, stress days, PTO. But I'm sorry everything's a mess here, but
well, you know what PTO stands for in my world, right? It's prepare the others. Because
okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yep, and I wholly subscribe to that that way of thinking. So, hey, how was your week? I mean, has it been pretty quiet. No muzzles for anybody, or
Quiet is the word we don't use at work.
mm,
Because the minute you even think that word, all heck breaks loose. No, it's just they're talking about people getting stressed out at work and whatever. Not necessarily going postal, but doing stupid stuff. We're getting a lot of individuals from Amazon. They got an Amazon warehouse about 4 miles away, and
yeah.
was it five overdoses in less than a week?
Wow.
And the one guy was built like a tank, and of course that's the one that wants to fight.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Narcan's a beautiful thing until it works, and then they start fighting. So
we just recently had a story here in Omaha that there's a new kind of fentanyl that's like it's taken multiple hits with this Narcan to
right.
even think about resuscitation, and it's here in Omaha now.
I think that's probably what this guy was on that they brought in the other night, because they said they zapped him twice with the emergency response team at the warehouse zapped him twice with AED before the fire department got there, and fire department hit him. Was it 2 or 3 times on scene with Narcan, didn't work, and then our docs hit him two more times, and the 5th time he came swinging. So
yeah, that's probably that sounds like maybe the same stuff.
And then of course I turn into Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. I step back and go, I'm too old for this.
Right? Hey kid, come here.
So,
hi, 3D Woodworks. Yeah, T-Bird, I didn't say hi. I don't know if I said hi to T-Bird or not, did I? He's dropping folks links. That's nice. Oh, Mike ways back up here said, I don't know what's wrong, but he's got a good bone saw. I'll let me take a rain check on that, Mike. I got I kind of got a good, I may have my people get a hold of your people, and we'll figure out where to go from there. Oh, yep. Jack Stacks.
It's been kind of crazy, and we get a lot of the ones now that are, they come in and everybody's got a medical degree, or they went to nursing school, or they're nurses or whatever, and this is how you're going to do it. Had one this morning that wanted to debate blood alcohol levels with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do realize that there's 3 of us standing here in blue uniforms, and we all did this for real before this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not your typical Paul Blart.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not like that. But yeah, I went to medical school, and I know, and the officer that gave me the breathalyzer said it was 0.08. It's like, okay, and anybody with any common sense knows that it goes up before it comes down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
correct. Yeah. T-Bird's going back to work. Thanks, T-Bird, for coming in. English Dave, everybody, I tell you what, do me a favor. Go into Jack Stack's channel, because that's English Dave Richardson. Just started a channel. Let's get him all hooked up and going here. English Dave's been around forever for me, and that's cool. I'm glad to see that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go out of here tonight and sub him up. Hang on. Yeah. 25 subscribers, y'all. Let's get him out here with at least 30 tonight, eh?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I just subbed. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't I forgot what I was going to ask you. I'm telling you, Michi, this There's just too much on the plate right now, but
Yeah.
we'll be all right. That
Oh
looks
yeah.
kind of poopy there, doesn't it? You know, Nickel Stacking was looking at this the other night.
Hmm.
Um, said he liked it. He
Well,
said, "Yeah,
it looks like a nugget ring, or what we
it
used to call a
is.
nugget ring.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I
Yeah.
carved it." And so I may sell that one in the auction too. That
Yeah.
just happens to fit my pinky. Um, imagine that. And then Miss Lori's is coming along, and then I cut a new piece of wax, and it's got a little different crown on it. So we'll see where that one goes. I don't know.
Cool.
Just trying to get everything as much done as I can before D-Day. But you know, uh, I don't know how. Where's what spot today on? Hey, Broke Stacker. What's let me see here. Spot on gold today. Have you been doing your gram a month still?
I
Have you got that
actually
for
put
this
that
month
on
yet?
hold for a little bit, so
Okay.
I'm gonna get back to it. But I've been putting it on hold for the moment. So
Yeah,
uh,
32.26 today, down $4. 370. So I don't know, man. I really, really, and I don't know if maybe Michi, maybe it's me um, feeling like it's not the, well, you know what? It's almost textbook FOMO. You know, like fear of missing out on the
yeah,
on gold because everybody's saying, well, it's gonna go ballistic, and you know,
yeah.
people are
It's
even
gonna be
saying it
five
about
five
silver
grand an
now.
ounce by Christmas, and yeah,
Yeah, and people are even saying that about silver now. It's like, yeah, it's gonna,
yeah.
the short is gonna be too much, and the demand's gonna be gone. It's like,
Well,
I don't know.
I do know. I mean, I know it doesn't make a huge dent, but there is very serious talk that they're gonna reopen the mines up in the UP. Uh,
Ooh,
so and a lot of people don't realize that you may not pull gold out of there, but usually where there's copper, there's silver. So and if they open
yeah,
all those mines back up and start mining them like they used to, uh, we could be in pretty good shape as far as it being mined and processed and everything here.
I'm glad you brought that up too because I was listening to Backyard Bullion. He does really good videos. Now I know you know who he is. Hey,
Oh yeah.
Check Stacker, Aho, Scodian. Um, he did a video today or at least that I watched today, may have been from yesterday, but um, talking about Trump kind of making copper a priority.
Oh yeah.
Like it's the new oil for some reason. I don't know what that's got to do. Maybe
Right.
electronics or something. But
Well,
that story that
everybody.
you got would tie right into that as far
Yeah.
as
Well, and everybody, silver, yeah, has become a an industrial metal as well as a precious metal. But everybody says, oh well, they're getting away from copper. But yeah, as far as like the wiring goes in these cars, they may be using more silver and other metals, but the motors that make that electric car run
oh yeah, the
are
conductivity in
almost
copper's never
copper.
gonna.
Yeah,
I don't think any
and
metal will top that.
they're not trying. This administration's not trying to cram the electric cars down our throats, but you can drop the price on those darn things if you're
Yeah,
you're farming or you're harvesting your metals from here, not you know 10
yeah,
different countries. So
yep, yep, exactly. I like it. I think we got some pretty smart people doing pretty good
yeah.
things here. So,
And the thing is, like and me being born and raised here in Michigan and having, still to this day, I've got friends that I've had since I was since a kid that live up in the UP there. Right now, that the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, for those that don't know, 90% of the people that live in the Upper Peninsula are either on some kind of assistance or Social Security and pension. Their biggest employers up there is education and the prison system, the state prison system. And there's mines everywhere up there. If they open those mines up back up, oh my God, the economy is going to do a complete complete 180, and things that life's going to get really good for everybody up there again.
How many square miles is the UP, Michi?
You know what? I don't have an exact number, but if you, I know if you take the Upper Peninsula and the Lower Peninsula, sit them next to each other and stand the Upper Peninsula up on end like this.
Yeah.
The Upper Peninsula is just as long as the Lower is tall.
Wow. So, see, I had no idea that was the case. I mean, I always look at it.
If my son would have gone to Michigan Tech, which is where he originally wanted to go, and they live in one of the northern suburbs of Detroit. The city they live in borders Detroit. From their house to the Michigan Tech University campus on dry pavement, no slowdowns in traffic, minimal stopping along the way. It's about a 10 and a half hour drive from their front door to the front door of the university.
Wow.
So, and you're not leaving the state of Michigan for any of it. So,
wow. That sounds like driving across Kansas or Nebraska.
Right. Pretty much.
It's
that's one of the reasons why he decided not to go there was the distance, because he and his maternal grandmother were very, very tight. And he saw the writing on the wall with grandma, and that grandma's health wasn't the best. And when he chose to go where he's going, he says, "Dad, I can't be that far away from grandma if something happens."
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And he ended up he started his freshman year that fall, and she passed away right after the New Year.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine me trying to get home from up there? Because they don't measure snow in inches, they measure it in feet.
Yeah.
He says, "Dad, could you imagine me trying to drive in 41 from Houghton to Marquette, let alone coming from Marquette to Munising, and then all these other places where they actually shut the roads down if they get more than 6 inches of snow." So,
yeah, golly. Well, I'm glad that sounded like a good choice for him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
it's
that?
Beautiful country up there, though. But
I
imagine. Are nuts. But no, if they can get people back to work up there, that would be awesome. So,
yeah, that would be a huge boon to the economy.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
that'd be a marvelous thing.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it happens.
No, me too.
Your set, by the way, is looking just badass today. I like it.
Well,
I like it a lot.
I had to consolidate and do this because the table that I normally had all my stuff set on decided it didn't want to hold up anymore. So I lost about a foot of depth on my table. So I just had to, cram it together and make it work. So.
Let's do this. Good life, no life.
Oh, come on.
Good life, no life.
I'll say I've got a little bit of everybody here. There you go. There's the cranky one. So I got a little bit of everybody on the board here. So
yep, love it, love it. I still have, that I have it on the dashboard of my truck. Hey, give me 10 seconds. Hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't related to what I was just getting ready to say, but on the dashboard of my truck, I still have that patch I'm gonna send to you, and I
Oh,
wish
no
I'd have gotten
problem.
that to you before the before the Peace Officers Day. Um,
No problem.
how how were things that day? Did you go to
Well,
some services? And
the sheriff's department did their thing down in front of the courthouse, so duck down for that real quick. One of these years, I'll get the courage up to go back to DC. I just haven't done it yet.
yeah,
Like I think I told you, the one time that I actually made it to the memorial, the physical memorial in DC was probably 3 weeks after Police Week, and I was fine until we're walking down East Street from Pennsylvania Avenue, and the if you've if, for those that have never seen the memorial in DC, they have these huge black marble lions at each end of the memorial. There's a male on one side and the female with the cubs on the other side, and it's symbolizing them protecting. The young represent the people that the police protect, and the male and female grown ones are the protectors. And I saw that first lion, I froze up. And my son, at the ripe old age of 13, was more adult than I was. He grabs me by the arm. It's like, Dad, you got to do this. And he drugged me the last block and a half
he's
to
a
get
good
me in
boy.
there. Because the thing is, we had a close friend that was killed the November before, and his name was added to the wall that next spring.
Oh,
And
yeah, that'll do it.
he at 13 years old, he made it very, very clear that my dad and I aren't getting on the plane if we can't go to the memorial. Well, they gave us an hour, and he found out just how fast Dad could walk, even as large as Dad was back then. Because my son was almost at a full tilt run all the way from, because they let us go from the Smithsonian, and it's about 8 city block walk up Pennsylvania Avenue. And he's like, Dad, slow down, I can't run that fast. And to hear him tell the story now as an adult, it's hilarious, because he says, oh yeah, he says, I'm running behind my dad, and I hear this bling a ding a ding a ding, bling a ding a ding a ding, get out of the way. Because the Hare Krishnas were out trying to do what they do, and the
Oh
guy
my
got in
gosh.
my way. I ran him over. We had places to be.
Yeah, get out of the way.
But no, they one of these days I'll get the courage to go back. It's a thing where there's other places that I really need to go back to, and I haven't been
Yeah.
able to do that either.
Well, that's understandable.
One of them would be New York City.
Yeah.
Eventually I will get back there too, but it's just, when I'm ready, I'll do it. But as far as the local stuff here,
it's not a real good time to go to New York City anyway.
No, yeah, you're right. That's it's safe. One of these days I'll get there. But yeah, just not right now. And as far as the local memorial services, I can never remember and go down. They have a Detroit Police Department puts on a huge memorial every year, where they start out at Campus Martius, which is like the center of downtown Detroit, where I did the Christmas video with the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that was so cool.
They start there, and they march down into Greektown to the to St. Anne's, which is one of the oldest Catholic churches in Detroit, and they have a memorial mass. But what they do is if the city has lost any officers that year, somebody from their precinct or their unit carries a 16 by 20 picture of that officer, and in the march from point A to point B. And I don't know, I may have sent you the video from this year. I don't know if I did or not. If not, I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, I can never remember when it is to get a chance to go. But Police Week, I told a buddy of mine, I got a buddy that participates in the Police Unity Tour every year. And I told him, I said, one of these years, I joke around with, one of these years, I'm going to surprise you. I said, I'm going to be standing there at the entrance to the memorial when you guys come riding in.
There you go.
But in the case of Colin, the one that I mentioned that was not only hard on me, but it was hard on my son as well. He rode in his first Unity tour in May of 2016. He was shot a couple days before Thanksgiving that year, passed away the day before Thanksgiving that year, and that May they added him to the wall, and that was the hardest one of all.
Yeah.
But he he rolled up. I tell people this is, I'm gonna make myself big here for a second.
Yeah.
Just like I know our military veterans, they understand the whole thing with challenge coins, but it's trickled over into law enforcement as well.
Oh, nice.
That's Colin. This is a coin that was done. It came out right after, a couple months after he was killed. As you can see, it's dinged up. The finish is coming off. The enamel is coming off and all that. But this is rode in my pocket since the day I got it, or I was
never going anywhere.
And quiet as it's kept, this thing has actually gone into the operating room with me a couple times.
Nice.
So, because I'm, that's my guardian angel. It's my son's guardian angel right there.
Yeah.
And he, cool. I wasn't leaving it in my belonging bag in the room. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
you can have my AGE. You just can't have this.
Right. And now, when Colin originally got into law enforcement, he's from the west side of the state. He started with the Richland Police Department and eventually ended up at Wayne State. I used to joke around with him. I used to call him the little kid playing dress up because that's what he looked like when he put his uniform on. Yeah, he looked like a 12-year-old playing dress up. But yeah, but now Chris still rides in the ride every year, and he didn't do it this year, but normally he'll go on Facebook Live and they film them entering, because they bring them into DC, and they actually, the final leg of their ride is they ride through the memorial past all the names, and then they do the loop, they come back out and park and do whatever. But it's one of these years I'm going to get there for Police Week. So it's just I gotta set myself up for the emotions that go with it. So
yeah, that's got to be tough. I'm that's,
well, on the flip side of it, I will say this. We've got, back in October, I think I posted some pictures where I stopped at the Michigan Heroes Memorial in Pontiac, where it's all your police officers, firefighters, EMS that have been killed doing their job. It also has a memorial to the Michigan born that were lost on 9/11. There's a memorial for all the military members that have been lost from Michigan. There's and specifically the War on Terror. But in Lansing, between the state capitol building and the state Supreme Court building, is the Michigan Peace Officers Memorial. And it's a very somber, but also sobering feeling to realize just how many names are on there, and that they add more every year. And then up in Roscommon, up in northern Michigan is the Michigan Fallen Firefighters Memorial. And that one's just as emotional because I've lost a couple buddies that were firefighters too.
Yeah.
And to see that that memorial is just wow, because you don't hear about the firefighters.
No, you really, honestly, you don't. And
Right.
Secondary to well, we're the home of. There's one here that really stands out to me was, and this is just, it's been some years ago, and they're just now, I think, figuring out for how long this guy's going to be in prison. But
yeah,
God, it's been years ago. That Kerry Orozco was an officer here who died in the line of duty. And the night before the last shift, before she was supposed to go on maternity leave.
Right.
So that one's a tough one to look at whenever they do stuff for. I just, man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's tough me.
I know I mentioned this one in my my video I did on Thursday. This one, and I know I've had people ask me before why there's a Mexico flag in there. It's because Matt and Jen were assigned to the 4th precinct, which is part of, it's Southwest Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I grew up. I grew up in Southwest Detroit. I grew up in the 4th precinct, but that is probably one of the largest Hispanic communities or Mexican communities in the United States. That's where you go when you want the authentic Mexican food, or you want the authentic, the Mexican groceries, like the Mexican.
It's like South O here. Yeah.
And we actually do have it. It's called Mexican Town. But the thing with this one is, Jennifer Fettig moved down to Detroit from Petoskey up north. She was an up north girl.
Up north.
Wanted to be the police, came down to the big city to do it, with intentions of going back up north eventually and, doing the job up there. The only thing is Petoskey's public safety, so you got to be police and fire. And I think the main two of the main reasons she came down to Detroit to do it was, one, Detroit would pay for you to go to the academy.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, you don't have to be a firefighter to be a Detroit cop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Matt and Jen pulled a guy over, and yep, see, there you go. There's one of our landmarks in the old neighborhood, the Ambassador Bridge that takes you over to Canada. But they pulled a guy over on a side street off of Michigan Avenue in Livernois, one of the bigger intersections in the neighborhood there. They were going to write him a fix-it ticket because he had a burned out tail light. And they're sitting in the car writing the ticket. He comes out with a gun and starts shooting. Jen never made it out of the car. And Matt's last words were tongue-tied. Matt's last words over the radio were 4-5 radio, priority, officer down. And he got that out of his mouth, and the guy stood over him because he tripped over his own 2 feet while he's backpedaling. Guy stood over the top of him, shot him point blank in the forehead. And now the thing is, with Matt, I'm just enough older than Matt was that he and his buddies used to get their allowance on Saturday, and they would get on their bikes and ride up to, because he grew up in Lincoln Park, which is another suburb of Detroit, a southern suburb of Detroit. He and his buddies would get on their bikes, come up to the Taco Bell that I worked at when I was in high school, and spend their entire allowance on tacos and stuff. So I used to sell that little kid, tacos and burritos when he was growing up, and then I ended up working with him for a short time. So,
wow,
that one was kind of tough too. So,
yep. Well, I was going to ask, what's everybody up there in your side of the woods getting for the, we talked just a little bit earlier about constitutional. What's your times face up there?
Well, you know what? It's been lingering right around 26.
Golly, man, they're still at 28 down here.
Yeah.
I
It's
cannot.
and the one guy that I go to that's probably about 10, 15 minutes from the house here, he kind of goes down the road of I'm gonna sell it to you for what the price was when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's like
is
one
he
of my
shooting
shops
himself in
here.
the
Yeah.
is he shooting himself in the foot? Maybe, maybe not. You know, it's just it's his business. He runs it how he wants to. Now, like his peace dollars and Morgan dollars, because that's where I got those from. He's got the bin that they're in marked $29, you know, or less depending on the condition, and that price never changes. It's always
Mm-hmm.
$29 or less. And I think I said it in the video that I did time before last. You know, I was a little short on cash, so I put one back. Well, it ended up in my package anyway. And me
Oh
being
yeah.
honest, I told him about it. He says, you know what, from now on, he says, and he told the lady that works for him that remembers everybody. She does. She remembers everybody. She remembers your face. She may not remember your name, but she remembers what you come in for. It's just every time he comes in here from now on, you know what? I'm giving him $1 off, 28 or less, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why? Because I was honest. But no, my place out.
Yeah, it's not a common characteristic these days.
Right. my place out yonder. You know, the place I is because I've kind of been secretive, but I've mentioned it before. You know, their sign might look something like that right there.
Oh, that's
They've been lingering around 25, 26 per you know 25, 26 face for quite a while, for at least a couple months. So,
you know, last time I went into the shop over down here, the closest one here, they didn't have anything but constitutional. I mean, they had ASEs, constitutional, and 10-ounce bars.
Right.
And that was it.
They've got the guy up here in Flat Rock, which, you know, the one that's only about 10, 15 minutes away. He's slowly getting more stuff back in. He's got you know, if I could have walked in there, I could have bought Morgans and peace dollars by the roll. You know, he's got all kinds of that. But yeah, I like to be able to go in and, like, you know, where right now I like with my dimes, I've got 2 partial rolls where I don't need a whole dollar of one or the other.
Yeah.
And even if I were to get what I need for the 2 tubes, I'm still not going to come up to $1. But if I go to my buddies up there in Ypsilanti, I can get 2 or 3 at a time or whatever, you know, where, like, you know, there's my partial roll of Mercs, and, you know, I'm literally like 30 cents away from having a full roll of Rosies. So, but a lot of these places by me, they want you to buy the whole tube. And, you know,
I like my shop where you can go in and they just pull the tray out and you can kind of pick through the Mercs.
Exactly. Well, and the nice thing is
ooh, nice 21.
Right? He now this guy up the road here, he does that with his Morgans and his peace dollars, but, you know, the dimes, the quarters, the halves, all that, they're in tubes. You got to buy the whole tube. So
Broke says he's been stacking other metals lately, car parts.
Hey, you know what? You do what you gotta do.
Well, and you know what? That might not be a bad idea. There's probably going to be a market, you know, if you believe in all the panic and stuff. I'm not. Right. I still think it's everything's going just fine. But
well, I think part of what he's doing is it's just I understand, you know, and I've said it in other videos where, you know, they and you got the people that say, well, my Toyota was built here in America. That's fine, but where does the money end up?
Exactly, and that's the thing that gets me is
And
people don't really look at that.
yeah,
They don't
or like
realize that.
even back in the day, every time my son and I were driving around here probably about a month ago, and I was, we were talking about all the stuff with, geez, everything's just going to be so stupidly expensive, and this, that, and the other thing. We were driving up I-75, and there's a Ford plant in well, it's technically Flat Rock, but Woodhaven also. Uh, that they build the Mustang, and they were building the whatever the Lincoln or the Mercury version of the Ford Fusion was. Now they're just building the Mustang, but that plant started its life as a Mazda plant.
Really?
And then Ford bought out, or Ford bought out their part of, because Mazda and Ford were collaborating on a lot of things at one
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Well, when Mazda decided they didn't want to deal with Ford anymore, Ford bought that plant from them. But the fact that, and I told them, I said, even if that was still a Mazda plant, and they were still building and selling Mazdas, you're going to pay more for that because of where the money ends up. It's not ending up in Ford's hands. It's ending up in somebody's hands overseas.
Yep.
But,
Yep. Oh, it's a shame not everybody's as smart as us and the guys in the chat, is it? I tell you.
I don't blame you for stacking what you think you're going to need. I mean, hell, I'm even contemplating, because I know it got a little thin there for a while. Refilling up the extra food storage.
Yeah. I was just talking to my sister. I started prepping
Yeah,
before I started stacking it, and
right.
my pantry looks really good, but
Yeah,
I've got stuff down there that Miss Lori and I canned like 3 years ago, and I was
right.
asking my sister, what's the like time limit for keeping things that you can, because I know it's good for a couple of years and all that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
the reason I'm a little cautious about that is the only patient that I ever had pass on me in my vehicle
Mm-hmm.
uh, was an older lady, actually was just real old, um,
Mm-hmm.
that lived on a farm in Missouri, and she did all her own canning and everything, and
Right.
she got salmonella poisoning,
Right.
and and died from that. And that's a bad run when you go get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning to transport to a regional medical center from a local hospital. It's a 45-minute drive back in those days, and
Yeah.
walk in the door and the charge nurse goes, "Good luck with this one."
Right.
That's never a good start. And the cardiologist rode with us in the vehicle as
Yeah.
we went. She made it to the county line and didn't didn't make it. But
Right.
that's the only patient that I've lost. That's serious stuff.
Well,
That one. And
that's like I tell people, because
three B's.
I started out, doing the prepping thing, long before I started this. And I think back to when I was a kid, and we would go down, because I grew up in a, no, see, I'm knocking the camera all over the place. Holy vey. I grew up in what I refer to as a typical Detroit two-family house, where you got a downstairs and an upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandparents lived downstairs. We lived upstairs, shared basement, all that stuff. Well, you go down in the basement, in this room, way back in the back of the basement, my grandfather had gone down there, and he nailed up like a big sheet towel over the window so you couldn't see in from outside, and it kept a lot of the light from coming in. And he built shelving units, and this was like long before I was born. He built these shelving units that were probably a good 4.5, 5 feet deep and 5 high, and those things were stocked to front to back with canned vegetables, Can
Mm-hmm.
we could have opened up a spam store with all the spam he had.
I'm a little heavy on that
Yeah.
myself.
But you know what? I mean, yeah, is it the greatest tasting stuff in the world? Heck no. But you know what? When you got to get some protein in you,
I tell
you
you
do what you
what,
got to do.
that's right. Yeah, there's,
Now because the
there's,
freezers are only going to keep your meat frozen so long, and I always wonder is why do Grandma and Grandpa have why do they have so much, but they never touch it?
yeah,
Because we're going to the grocery store every Saturday and we're buying cans of corn and cans of green beans and because that was before we realized the frozen's better for you. Cans of green beans and peas and canned carrots and canned this and canned that for whatever we were making. But Grandma and Grandpa have all this down here. Why aren't we touching that?
well,
And then I
and you know
thought,
what? It may have looked like a whole heck of a lot as a kid,
it
but you
no,
start,
even as an adult, it was because
you,
when my mom finally moved out of there, we went down there and cleaned it out, and we filled up two of those little, the little enclosed pull behind U-Haul trailers.
mm-hmm.
We filled up two of those with canned goods that were
Wow.
still sitting down there in the basement all those years later. But then I thought about it as an adult. I'm like, okay, you know what? Grandma and Grandpa knew what they were doing because they both lived through the Depression
Yeah, that's exactly.
when they didn't have those vegetables to eat. Are they fresh? No.
Yeah,
Are they the best for you? Heck no. But it's something to put in your stomach, get you some vitamins,
absolutely,
get you what you need. And I'm
absolutely.
like, yeah, you know what? Okay, Grandma and Grandpa had it together. You know what? I need to start doing that.
Broke
So,
Stackers put a breakfast, a Hawaiian breakfast recipe in the chat, everybody. So check
oh
that
yeah,
out. It,
you know, I've actually tried something similar to that. It's actually pretty
it
damn good.
actually sounds pretty good.
It is pretty good. And now I joke around. I said my grandfather wouldn't know what to do with himself. Spam comes in flavors now.
yeah, yeah, bacon flavor and
Got
dang it,
bacon and turkey and
dang it,
spicy
broke.
and
Broke's got me salivating now.
right.
Yeah,
All you need now is get a little throw a little pineapple in there too.
yeah, heck yeah. Which I just cut a fresh one up last night.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
we we're we're fixing to batten everything down over here because
Yeah,
it's looking pretty rough over there. But
yeah. You guys get the crazy weather like we do, and they were just talking on the radio this morning. They said, "Oh, Michigan's not really because of how far north they are. They're not susceptible to this, this, and this." It's like you've never been to Monroe County. Because literally they refer to us as Tornado Alley. So yeah, we catch a lot of grief with the weather too.
I heard recently that the Tornado Alley used to be like Kansas
Yeah.
and Oklahoma and all that. I've heard recently that the actual majority of tornadic activity, however you want to say it, is now north of that. So it's like
Yeah.
Nebraska now, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Like it's changed a rotation, a quarter rotation or something.
Oh yeah. It gets crazy. It's and like they were even saying today that Michigan usually on average we get about 13 tornadoes total in Michigan during the course of the tornado or warm weather.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying we're set to break that record because we've already had, I don't remember what they said, but we've already had multiple tornadoes on the west side of the state and northern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, northern Michigan's kind of unusual.
Never gets them.
Yeah, but my sister's daughter and her husband and granddaughter live in St. Louis and West St. Louis, Southwest, and it was kind of that's what they got. They got hit, although not their specific area, but they had that pretty bad one a couple of days ago, and fortunately everybody's all right there. But
Right.
you had to get up and make a phone call
Oh yeah.
and check like I could do anything from except start driving from 500 miles away.
Well, I had to laugh because I've got an acquaintance that says that we don't get tornadoes. It's all in our head. It's just straight line winds. Was it not last year, summer before last, we got hit really hard. And I actually took pictures because I had to go to the next town over to get a cell signal to call my son to let him know that we were all right. And I'm driving down the main road going that way. And this was what the utility poles, the power line poles looked like as I was going down the road over to the next town. The further you went, the closer they got to the ground.
Yeah, no,
but that wasn't a tornado.
Yeah, no, I'd beg to differ, sir.
Right. Well, I mean, I've never seen straight line winds pick up over the other side of the freeway. Manufactured home community over there. Friend of mine that used to work for one of the TV stations in Toledo came up and covered it. Actually picked this home up off the foundation, flipped it over, and dropped it back down on its roof. But that's straight line winds. That's not a tornado.
That's no, I'm sorry. There's clearly some evidence that there was a little
and the thing is they were able to follow the path from the city of Canton, which is up like 29 minutes north of here. They were able to follow the path of the funnel from there all the way down to here. It crossed 275 and went just to Interstate 275, which is right next to our sub. When it crossed 275, just south of us, and ended up going out into Lake Erie and across Lake Erie. But, that was just straight line winds. Okay.
You know what Miss Lori's cooking for dinner tonight? By golly. We got a buddy that his wife is in horrible shape. Prayers go out for Miss Sarah because she's having a really rough go of it. But Phil is just a dear man, and he goes fishing up in Lake Erie all the time, and he gave us a big old bag of fish.
Nice.
So she's out there frying up some fish.
Oh, outstanding. So,
I can't. Can you guys hear a little activity in the?
Somebody's having fun. That right there. That's what it's all about, right there. The laughter of kids.
Yeah, he missed his preschool graduation because he had a 102 temperature the other day, the day of his preschool graduation, and I got to tell you, Michi, I've got a little video that if I can figure out how to cover the faces on it. Last night we had an ice cream cake for him, and he had a yellow cap and gown.
There you go.
And got a paper diploma, and we played pomp and circumstance as he walked into the room. It was so cute.
That's cool.
And the first thing he did,
any formal graduation.
The first thing he did when he looked at it is he put it up in front of him and looked at it with both hands and just walked over to Grandma and gave her a big hug. And
there you go.
It was so cute. If I can figure out how to cover the faces, I'll put that up because it was adorable. Without a doubt, it was worth the half-hour wait for a place to sit. I just got to say, it was. Yeah, it was good.
Cool.
Oh, Broke says he's got to go. Have a good night.
Broke, thanks for coming. He said he's gonna. What did he say? I'll do I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that word video for you guys soon. So I think he's gonna be doing some cooking on YouTube.
Oh, Mocha Loco. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, what you said. Yeah. Absolutely, we'll be up for it. There's Broke and 3D and me and Stacker Man are gonna do as part of that special project. Are gonna do a recording here coming up. It's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna come together pretty good. So everybody will have to be looking for that, but you won't find it on my channel. So. Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, Brooke, I'm looking forward to it. It's time to time to wrap this thing up and put a bow on it appropriately. But we'll see.
All right. Well, we're rolling up on about an hour and 10. I know you said you got to batten down the hatches there.
I
So,
do, yep. And
uh,
oh yeah, I just looked out the window there.
yeah.
That's a little different than it was a little bit ago.
Strap it all down before it blows away.
Got to do that.
All right.
But
So
well, you know, we're not really an hour and 10 minutes. We're an hour because I was
well, true, but yeah.
inconveniently
I was
late.
going by their clock, not ours.
Well, and I gotta be honest with you. I was right here.
Yeah.
I just forgot the time. I started working on this soldering this bezel for a pendant I'm making for Grandma Cranky, and I had it in my clamps, my third hand tweezers, and as I heated it, I was so mad. As I heated it, it just went boing and shot across the table up here. The flux, I mean the solder, the little chips of solder that I put it up there flew off, and the bezel piece that I kind of had semi soldered already came off completely. It's like, all right, whatever, back to square one. And that's when I realized I was late. But,
oh, we gave you a break to clear your head.
Yeah, you guys are much too kind to me. I've got to tell you. No doubt
Cranky,
about
you
it.
know what? You're one of the special ones, and we got you. So,
well,
you can say you're the crankiest person on the world, on the planet. Some of us no different. So
yeah, well, don't let that get around at all. Damn it!
You got a reputation to uphold, huh?
That's right. I'm cranky, damn it. Remember that old Eddie Murphy?
Right.
Jack Stack says, Jack Stack says, bye, everyone. Thanks for subbing. Don't forget to go to Jack Stacks and sub him if you haven't already. That's English Dave, who's been a member. He's a Stacker Social, and I met him on Stack Collector's channel, and he's always been supportive. So gotta do a post on him, get him going.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up for tonight. And we'll and like I told you before when we talked on the phone, this is simply based on how you're feeling. Do it again in a couple of weeks. And
yep. And you know what? As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna put in my calendar a calendar date and have the alarm set for an hour before. Promise.
So, oh, you're good. You're good. So, all right.
Well, I love you, brother.
Hey, love you too, man. We'll get together and do this again in a couple of weeks, and I'll let you do your
yes, sir.
Yours, and then I'll do mine.
As always, y'all keep stacking. Wait, huh? Stay safe, shoot straight, keep stacking. Stack the right stuff. Holy smokes. What is wrong with this guy? Yeah, I did. Almost did nickel too. Anyway. I love everybody out there. 210 Stacks, we're gonna do a live one of these days too, because I chatted with him the other day. He's very cool guy.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. So all right. Goodness.
All right.
Well, Michi, thanks so much.
All righty, everybody. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Keep stacking, keep hunting. Michi's out.
Laters.